Thank you for joining us today on the program World of Art on OGTV. My name is Miriam Usman. Every week we bring you experienced artists, and together we take a close look at topics and areas of art that promotes visual arts in our society. This program is brought to you by Prince Yemisi Shillon, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, grand donor and chairman of Council Yemisi Shillon Museum of Art. The program will be back after this break. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned on World of Art on OGTV. Now let me quickly remind you that human expressions finds their way through various forms of art and cultural activities. In art, the Nigerian cultures and tradition represent the lifestyle of Nigerians alongside the great history of Nigerians. Now this is also known that over the years wood carving has become a very integral art of forms of expression adopted by the Nigerians to express their cultures and traditions. Places like Benin, Lagos, Akwa Ibom are said to be some of the few places where this craft started from as way back as the 12th century. It's safe to say on the program today that we are taking a close look at wood carving sculpting as we are joined by Ayodepo Abiye Anyoladun. He is a wood sculptor and an art educator. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, so particularly I feel there's so much to talk about because we've had different artists on the program. We've had metal sculptors, we've had textile artists, we have different, but not for once have we had wood carving sculptor.
Wow.
Yes, and personally I haven't met a wood sculptor before. I've not really had to know much about it. So today I'm going to say I'm excited that you're in the house today. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
So I'd like us to start by, taking us through how it started for you. How was it like starting this journey or profession of wood carving sculptor? You could easily become a metal sculptor, a painter, or textile artist, but somehow you are here today with your years of experience into this profession. So tell us, how did it start?
Okay. I remember when I was in primary one, the first drawing I made, I could still remember vividly. I made it on slate. You know slate?
Of course, I remember slate.
Okay. I used chalk to draw on the slate by the side of my partner on the seat. And the moment I finished the drawing, he shouted, "Hey, come and see, Abiye is drawing." Then I now cover the drawing with my hand. So those people that rush around to look at the drawing, I asked them to bring chalk. If you give me a piece of chalk, I open it for you.
Trade by barter.
Yeah, you look at it, I cover it again. If you want to look at it twice, you bring me color chalk. So that is how I started. And they were shouting in the class to the extent that the shouting attracted the attention of the teacher in the class. The teacher now called them, "What's the noise all about?" And they said, "It's because Abiye drew. So we have gone to see what he drew." The teacher came, he saw the drawing, he asked for my name, my dad. He said I should call my dad. And the second day, my dad went with me to the school to meet the teacher. The teacher then now advised my dad that he should encourage me, that it's a special talent he has seen in me, he should encourage me. And my dad used to give me everything needed when it comes to drawing. That is how I started.
That's very interesting, because I do tell people before now that if I had at least my teacher, just one teacher, I wasn't asking for much. If I had just one teacher who saw the potentials of me being a TV personality over the years, maybe I'll probably be better than I am now. Because I remember as far back as those days, I was always talking. My name was always coming up on the list of noisemaker. So, but you know, somehow those days they always wanted to punish us for, you know, disobeying rules and regulations.
Yeah.
So there was no one really out there to push that part. And yours, for yours, I think it's a great one. And people need to pay attention to that. You know, you need to see a potential in a child to push it. Now let's talk about this. Why did you pick wood carving sculpting?
Okay.
You could, I mean, you just said that as early as primary one, you were already blowing the minds of people with your incredible work. Yeah. So why didn't you just stick to that drawing, or probably, you know, get something else like painting? Why did you choose wood carving?
I did all form of art, especially when you are in the Polytechnic ND, you do general art, textile, painting, ceramics, sculpture, and graphics. You will do everything at ND level. It is when you get to HND that you specialize, or if you go to direct entry, even the second year during your direct entry, you still do general art.
So you kind of knew everything before you picked wood carving.
Before you now pick. In fact, I find it difficult to know the area of my specialization at my ND.
Yes, because I've had several artists say the same thing. They were not sure of what to do, what area of specialization. Because I feel like art is broad. There's so much you would want to do because everything is. So how can one really know where to put their area of interest in form of specialization? For you, it's wood sculpting, but some people are not sure of. You know, young people are watching right now. They might not know, where can I put my effort to?
Well, probably if I tell you how at the end of the day I find my own area of specialization, probably people will learn from that. You know, like I told you, I did general art, and I find it difficult. Some people, before they get to ND2, the second year, at ND level, they will have known the area to specialize. But for me, I found it difficult. I wanted to use scores to determine which area. But I've just discovered that this semester I may score 70 something in a course and score 60 something in another course. If I say, okay, this one I score 70 something, then I will surely specialize. By the time it comes to the following semester, I may score 65 and score 70 something the other course. So I found it difficult to know the area to specialize. But this is how, at the end of the day, I found out myself. See, if I'm doing painting, like for example now, if I want to paint you as you're sitting now, if I am feeling hungry, and I force myself to work, probably because I want to submit the work to time. I force myself to work. Then at the end of the day, if I leave the work to go and eat, come back, the area I force myself to work when I was hungry, I will need to go back and retouch. Yes. But in sculpting, especially in wood carving, if I'm feeling hungry and I force myself to work, if I go back to eat, when I come, I will just discover that where I stop, even when I was hungry, I will just continue from there. So that is how I discovered the area to specialize.
So it's safe to say it was passion for you.
Exactly.
Interesting. We'll go on this short break, and after which the program continues. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned. Today on the program World of Art, we are taking a close look at wood carving sculpture. And yes, we still have Anyodipo and Yolado Abi is still with us on the program. So just before we went on that break, you were telling us how your journey into wood carving sculpting started.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about wood carving craft as a whole. What do you use to do some of your works? I mean, we have a lot of them on the program today, and we will be talking about them. But what are the materials? What do you use to do your work?
Okay. Wood is one of the basic material,
Of course.
and it's common. It's common around.
Is it really common? Do you use free wood like all
It
types
depends
of
on
wood?
what you want to carve.
Okay.
It depends on if you want to carve a bowl, for example, the bowl you use for washing at home, the wood you use is common. You can get it anywhere, and there are different types anyway. Even for that, yes. So the type of work you want to do will determine the type of wood you use.
Okay, so aside wood, what do you use? Because I know
Then the carving tools. We have the chisels, flat chisels. The common one that you see furniture carpenters use, that is the flat chisel. We use it. Then we have field gauges, U-gauges. We call it field gauges because the shape of the mouth is like V, and we use it to mark. Just like the mark you see here, we use field gauges to do the marks. Then we use U-gauges too. These are the mark of U-gauges. Then we have carving knife. We have axe, A-D-Z-E. That one is in form of axe. We use that one to remove the unwanted area at the beginning of wood carving. Then sometimes we use chainsaw, the one they use to fell tree in the bush. We use it especially when we want to do big work. We use that too. So we use sandpaper, sandpaper of various grades. Then there is another one, we call it ras file. When you finish carving with your art, then in order to begin the smoothing, you use ras file before it now comes to the turn of sandpaper.
So do you use a particular thing to preserve these woods? Because I know woods are also prone to have attacks from termites and all that. Yes.
You see, professionals, if you want to carve, the first is not immediately you get the wood from the bush and you begin to carve.
Ah, okay.
We season it. What I mean by seasoning, we keep it somewhere to dry steadily before you now begin to carve. What those insects, what they get from the wood is liquid form in the wood. So if you are able to dry it off gradually, then your wood carving will be safe from, and apart from that, you still use insecticide to preserve the wood.
You know, while you were saying something now, you made mention of carpenters. Is there much difference between what you do and what carpenters do? I know carpenters are into furniture basically, but do you also have...
They can interwove, you know. I do furniture works too, but in a unique way. If anybody can pay for it, I will.
You will do it. Okay, talking about unique ways, what's your mode of expression, your techniques of, you know, the works you do? I've seen some birds, but you know, yours is quite different. So what do you use? What measures do you use?
You see, my technique is called Iboism. Iboism. I derived that name from a Yoruba motif from traditional embroidery. So the embroidery and the chest of the male attire, you see one interwoven design.
Yes.
That is where I started my own technique, because I was born to a traditional embroidery maker. My father was a traditional embroidery maker. So I learned the craft after he has died.
Do you think it's also add to the beauty of your work?
Yeah.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I'm seeing there's a lot
Because
here.
the technique is fading away now. I mean the embroidery making by hand is fading away. So I now thought of what can I do to revive that the motif. So I started it on wood. By the time I started design, I did not consider it to be something, but I was surprised when my colleagues were coming and they started appreciating it.
Wow.
But what is so special in what I have done? So they gave us an assignment in the school. I used that technique to do the assignment. When the assignment got to the lecturer,
I can imagine.
he did not release it.
Wow.
He did not. So it was then I now realized that okay, this technique is good. So I started developing it. Initially, I started it on a flat wood, 2-dimensional. We call it 2-dimensional. But later, I started doing it in the round. That is, at work you can move around like this.
Yes.
So I started incorporating that technique.
So it's really important for an artist to have a technique to their mode of expression.
Yes, that will tell you who you are. Though at the initial stage, you may not be able to do that, but your incessant practice surely will lead you into a technique of your own that will be unique from others.
Let me quickly remind our viewers that you can join in on the conversation. That's the phone line open. You can, of course, send in your messages through our various social media platforms to engage our guests on the program. Now, let's talk about your work. Okay. Beautiful work, amazing work. But I am firstly attracted to this woman because she kind of has this hairstyle we normally used to do while we're in school, secondary school then.
Okay.
Yes. So let's talk about your work.
Okay. The title of this work is Olomoge, Virgin.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can see how gorgeously the figure was dressed. And this type of dressing will attract the opposite sex. But in order to preserve her virginity, see what she has done. See the breast at the back.
Oh, she hid it.
She hid the thing at the back. Because if people look at her, they look the front view, thinking that they will see the thing there, but she has wisely kept the thing behind her so that it will not attract male ones.
Interesting. There's a lot with expressions of art, and I think some people have this, I don't know, the ability to express art. For instance, maybe because I have so much connections with art, I'm able to just say something about it. Let's talk about expression. How is it easy for people to interpret some particular form of art?
Okay. It depends on the motif. The motif you use. There are some things that when you incorporate into your art, you don't need any interpreter before they can understand the artwork. You may not need it. For example, if you incorporate cowrie depicts wealth. Then horse tail depicts royalty. So if you combine the two together, anybody that sees it will know it's a royal art.
Okay, so I will drop this question quickly because time is not by our side. Lara is asking from Abuja, are you a drummer and can you drum for us? We're actually coming to that because of course we have a drum with us on the program. So of course you're a drummer, but just before you give us something from drumming, tell us about the talking drum. What do we need to know about it? As someone who is into it for a while.
Well, I was born to the lineage of a drummer, and that is why my name is Anyodepo Abiye Anyoladun. Yeah. So, and we use drum to entertain. There are different areas apart from entertainment. For example, in the palace, in those days. Like I told you, I have one work in this studio. I don't know the location of the work. The title is Bedu. And in those days, they beat Bedu twice in the life of a king. When they enthrone the king, they will beat it. The second time you hear the drum, it means the king is late. So those are the things we use drum for, apart from entertainment. Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I know this drum has the parts made of animal skin.
Yeah.
And then there's a part inside that has the wooden cylindrical nature. Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us about it.
Okay,
so before you go ahead, sorry, we have a caller.
Okay.
Lekon, thank you for joining us. Lekon, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yes, thank you for joining us today.
Okay, good afternoon.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Why you think that I just my perspective? So I want to reload from my bank account that I'm trying to,
Could you speak louder, Lekon?
I said I want to load my GoTV fee. I want to load the line. So I'm trying to do it on my phone, but the network doesn't. I don't know if there's any way I can load.
Lekon, probably you call us back. I really can't get your question. Please call us back so we can get your question correctly. Yes, you were saying something about the talking drum.
Yeah.
So you have to wrap up now because time is not by our side.
The cylindrical part of the thing is called Okpon Ilu in Yoruba. It is on that Okpon that all these ones are arranged. Yes.
Okay, so time is not by our side, and I believe people want to see you do one or two things with your talking drums.
Okay.
Yes. So what does that mean? What's the meaning of that? You can have your seat, sir.
Okay. Well,
because I know talking drum comes with a lot of interpretation.
Yeah. I am just appreciating God that the way we want the thing to be, the way we expected it to be, exactly that is how the thing is.
Okay, so finally, because time is not by our side, we really have to wrap up. How expensive is your work, and is it cheap to afford? Okay, I don't know about cheap, but how affordable is your work?
It depends on your choice, because the time you spend on one may be different.
How long do you spend on one?
It depends. Sometimes I use 2 years on a piece.
For a piece?
Yeah. The one you see in the video the other time is about 14 feet. I donated that one to my institution. So that one took about 2.5 years before I could finish it.
All right, we have to wrap up on the program now. Your final words on the program, and what would you want people to take home from you today? And of course to our sponsor.
I want to seriously appreciate our man. That is
Prince Yemisi Shalom, for doing this type of thing for we artists. I mean, he has done very great things to the family of artists, because many people today will still see more of my work. So I appreciate the man. If other people that are able to do we'll have a better society. thank you so much for coming on the program today. It's been an amazing time. Unfortunately, this is how far we can go on the program World of Art and OGTV. You know, every week there's a lot to know on the program, and you can only know that when you stay tuned. My name is Miriam Usman. Until I come your way next week with another interesting guest, the program is World of Art. Bye for now.